I'm good for that. All right, awesome. Hello, guys. Welcome to Flip These Bricks Academy, our weekly connection call. This takes place every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're happy to see all of your faces this afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to go ahead and kind of go over our mission statement and how we conduct business every Monday. Hope everyone's been having a great day. Give me one second. All right, awesome. Welcome to Flip These Bricks. All right. Our mission is to create a community of professional business owners who will build partnerships, share their knowledge and content, refer business to each other, and also to create investment opportunities. Our mantra is definitely the power of partnership. We do believe that coming together and working together, that we can excel and grow faster. We connect every Monday, as I mentioned, at 7:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'd love if you'd have your cameras on, as we'd like to get to know the faces of those that we're doing business with. If you would, please monitor your mics. If you're not speaking, that you would keep them muted and respect the person that is speaking on the floor. And most importantly, if you would participate, we have great conversations here. The call's great when we have questions and interactions from those that are on the call. All right. But these bricks are currently in all of these cities, which I thought it was great to kind of show a map to show that we are nationwide. We have members in New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, Maryland, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, Texas, California, and we hope to continue to grow. All right, and now we're going to take a moment and introduce ourselves. We want to get to know each other. Please let us know who you are, what you do, what city you reside in, and what brought you to our call tonight. So I'm going to stop sharing our screen. I guess I will take the intro first. I'm Jasmine Robinson. I am a licensed realtor in the state of Georgia and Florida. Also the daily ops manager here at Flip These Bricks, here to assist you all in achieving your goals and finding real estate investments. And I am really happy to be a part of the team. All right, so if someone would like to unmute and introduce themselves, it would be awesome.
I guess I can go, being that I'm the first person on the screen. I tell you, might have to just go down that list and just kind of pick them out. But for the most part, I'm Daniel Dawkins. I'm a general contractor. Like Jasmine mentioned, we're here to create the power of partnership. You know, I'm working in Atlanta, the New York tri-state area, as well as, digging my paws into Texas.
You are our general contractor, founder.
General contractor, real estate developer, the president of FTB Academy.
Yes, very good. All right, so he told me that I can pick on people, so I'm going to go with Jordan, if you wouldn't mind unmuting and letting us know who you are.
Cool beans. I'm Jordan Alston, founder of Invictus. We are a transmedia DSP. I know that's a lot of buzzwords, but I can explain more later. Joseph invited me. I don't see him on here, but it's my second meeting, so glad to be here.
Oh, great. We're glad to have you. Joseph will be on shortly, I'm sure. He might be running a little bit behind. All right. George, would you like to unmute?
Sure. My name is George Maple. I live here in Atlanta, Georgia. I have an insurance agency. My company is called Maple Insurance Brokerage. Specialize in small businesses, giving them benefits. So I do supplemental life, dental, vision, hearing, Medicare as well as health insurance. I'm currently licensed in, I think I'm up to 13 different states. Usually add states as business is required. So if you're not in a state where I am, I don't have a problem with getting a license there.
Very good. Thank you. Hopefully some of our FTB members have been calling you and getting policies. Hint, hint, hint. And if not, they will after your presentation on the 1st. George will be doing a presentation on the 1st, guys. So make sure you join us to find out the importance of coverage. All right. Anyone else want to?
I think I'll take this opportunity to jump out there and first apologize to George, because I should have gotten back with him last week, Friday, so please forgive me on that one. Charge it to my heart, not to my head and not to my heart. But I will be getting in touch with you this week, and that's my word. My name is Vondras Tolbert. I am a minister of the gospel. I have a global ministry, one of them being a homeless shelter. I have one that is a youth ministry that we do. And then I have a fourth watch prayer and prophetic teaching that we do as well. We are about building people, also building communities. My ministry is people. I love people. I love children, and God has just blessed me in that area to be able to do that. It comes naturally. I really probably, I don't know, maybe halfway into my adulthood, I found out that my name Vondras actually meant love. It means love. It's a French name and it means love. And
Tell us
so
what city you're in, Vondras.
I am in Connecticut. Forgive me. I'm in Stamford, Connecticut.
Okay.
Amen. And with that, I am going to yield my mic.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Let's go for a little wisdom. Mr. Sherrod, would you like to unmute and introduce yourself? It's Daniel's fault. He told me to pick on people. I don't even think he can hear me. Okay, Maria, it's your turn.
Hello, my name is Maria McNeil. I am from Jackson, Mississippi. I've been in the group for a minute. I have really been enjoying the Monday night collaboration and networking. I have a partner. Her name is Janae Spruill. She's from Maryland. She's not currently on here. She's supposed to be coming, but we've been talking with Jasmine, and we've been having really good accountability conversations. We are finding our niche. And we are looking forward to making progress, in this community. We truly believe in this community. We are a testament that things are not going to go as fast as you think they're going to go. But putting in the work, you'll see your progress. And so we're excited about what's going on. So, yeah.
Thank you, Maria. And I'm so glad to see your face tonight. Hey, camera on. Love it. Okay, I'm picking
Good
on.
evening.
Oh, yes,
everyone.
Miss Myra. Yeah.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Myra Walters. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm the founder of a nonprofit called Greater Works, Inc., and we bridge seniors and youth together through volunteer projects and community initiatives. Our ultimate goal is to have a multi-use community with activities, living spaces, things of that nature. So I'm here just to collaborate, learn more in the real estate space or the community development realm. So I've really enjoyed the calls and look forward to collaborating.
Thank you so much. And if you guys please would take a moment, make sure you share your information in the chat so that we can stay connected and we can refer business to you. So please provide an email, phone number, just that pertinent information would be great. All right. Anyone else? Miss Janice, I see you're unmuted. You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Janice Hackney. I am a retired registered nurse with a passion for maternal health care in this country, it's particularly how it affects people of color and our dismal statistics regarding wellness for moms having babies. So that's my passion. My second passion, of course, is real estate. And I've joined this group to learn more, to start my investment portfolio. I'm also a patented inventor for a product called a Panis adapter, myself and one other partner. And that's it pretty much. I do enjoy these calls. I'm learning every time I talk to Daniel and Jasmine, and especially like Maria said, the accountability calls are on point to keep you to the task. So I'm moving along. And so I do expect to have a property this year, 2024.
Yes, ma'am. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Janice. All right, do we have any other volunteers or shall I call some names? Somebody? Yes, hi, Lauren. We'll take it.
Hey, I'm a friend of Dan's, and Dan and I are developing something out here in Dallas. And I reside in Dallas, Fort Worth area. I'm also a licensed realtor in Texas and Florida. I lived in the Miami area for 13 years. Oh, my main business is private money lending to flippers.
Okay.
I've been doing that probably 10 or 12 years, something like that. I used to do partnerships, and then I switched up to just full-on private money lending. And I usually fund about, I don't know, 15 to 20 deals a year. So pretty active in that. And Dan's keeping me busy in Atlanta.
That's good. We need him busy.
Keeping Dan busy in Atlanta, I should say, right?
Yes. Yes,
My
well,
tree-
we're glad that you
Yeah, the
joined
tree
us.
house in Atlanta, right, Jasmine?
Yes. Yes. So yeah, thank you so much for introducing yourself, and we're happy to have Dallas on the call, a new face from Dallas. That's awesome. Very good. All right, Anthony, you're next. Oh. Venture capital. Okay, well, we'll come back to you. MDM 15, would you mind unmuting and introducing yourself? A new face, we'd love to hear from you. Me calling on people's not working down, Daniel. I think you need to do it. You have better success.
Well, no, it looks like they're trying to unmute, but they having a hard time
I know.
unmuting. When Anthony get a chance, definitely unmute. I wasn't expecting, me and Lauren were just having a conversation prior to the call, and I sent her the link. Anthony's actually unmuted. You get to introduce yourself. Lauren, Anthony's one of the gentlemen that I mentioned to you as far as that's going to be working with me on your development project down in DeSoto. So he can introduce himself, share a little bit about his background as well. But we'll have a private, separate conversation offline between us as well.
Good night, everyone. My name is Anthony Brown here from New York and Florida. Right now I'm in New York. So, but pretty much background is in architecture and project management and planning. Been doing that for 20 plus years. Also Florida realtor as well as a Florida developer doing new construction in several counties, Brevard County, Marion County, and Charlotte County. I'm looking to branch out into Carolinas as well this year. So definitely looking forward to doing some work with the team as well as, just be able to share knowledge and share resources as best as we can. Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yes. And actually I need to ask, I'll send a separate email later this evening or maybe early tomorrow about the follow-up. Anthony gave me some dates, so I'm going to share it with the group and we can decide on which date is best to do the continuation of the tax lien investment strategy. Okay. So I guess what we can do now is lean into our presentation this evening. I'm very excited. We have Jerome Green of Templeview Capital. He's going to definitely discuss, and I can go ahead and try to share hosting with him, and he's going to do a presentation. But while I'm doing that, Jerome, you want to kind of introduce yourself and let us know your background?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Name is Jerome Green. I am based out of here in Atlanta, Georgia. So I work for Templeview Capital, this out in Bethesda, Maryland. So we are a lender, a direct lender that lends nationwide to flippers, builders, those who are doing DSCR or bridge loans. We are very heavy capitalized, so we got plenty of money to deploy. I generally kind of deal with kind of stay around the southeast area, even though we could do nationwide, but um, I'm an investor as well. So, I do projects here and there, fix and flip. I got a new construction coming up here in Atlanta. So I always like to be the connector. I always like to be the one to, I can talk to you and also know how to structure a deal because I know the numbers behind it. Know if you got a good deal and tell if you don't have a good deal. But we can definitely do a lot of things here. As you all are kind of looking to scale your business, and as you get into, or even if you're an experienced investor, we got definitely some really good products that can really help streamline and also scale your business. So I look forward to connecting with all of you. And any ways you got any questions or something like that, I can be happy to answer your questions. Jasmine, you're muted.
I was trying to be mindful. I said I did go ahead and give you a co-host. So if you want to share your screen and we can
Absolutely.
kind of get into
All right.
presentation.
Okay.
All right.
Can
Thank
y'all
you.
see that?
Can everyone see Jerome's screen?
Yes, you can see it. Yes.
All right,
Yes.
perfect, perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
Move this over here. All right. So again, Templeview Capital. Again, we focus on fix and flips, new construction, bridge, rental, and as you know, the BRRRR strategy, right, to scale your business. We have these products that can help suit your needs. So I want to talk to you a little bit about TVC funding. Nationwide lender. I think I was looking for updated slide. We just got up to 47 states. I think the states we're not lending in right now, obviously North Dakota, South Dakota, and Idaho, where it's the population just not there. But practically we lend nationwide. So we provide loan products, again, fix and flip DSCR solutions, ground up construction. I want to kind of talk to you about some positive things that I think we have an edge on some of our competitors. And especially as we kind of start thinking about certain tiers, right? Because any lender is going to be able to kind of give you a certain loan product that's kind of based off your experience level. So, if you kind of go into more of that, more of experience, we have the product that you don't really necessarily have to show the income or assets, and I can kind of really show you how we can do that. Another good thing that we do, as many of you all are, as you're looking at projects and you want to do some type of value add, so you wanted to get a bridge loan and then bridge the gap by having a rehab component to it. We have the capabilities of doing such things as advanced draws, which I can't tell you any other lender that's doing. So that's kind of really a good talking point. What I think we do very well there. And as you know, our loans are non-owner occupied, right? Investor only loans. Our rates, our floor, we go down to as low as 10%, which we're very competitive there, especially on our fix and flip. Our rates for DSCR, our floor is 7.225. So we're right there. I mean, that's a very competitive product as we see just nationwide. A lot of lenders are doing DSCR because it's a very profitable component. And again, we're headquartered in Maryland. So just kind of want to give you just a snapshot of who we are. I want to just kind of break down just in type the loan products, and I don't want to just overcomplicate, what we do because the reality, we're not a bank, so we want to make the process easy for you. And so, we're not going to ask for your W-2s and ask for, your tax records and so forth. It's really kind of four components, right? Is we want to ensure that number one, that your deal makes sense, right? And so obviously, as you're in this room, you're around some key players, you're kind of be able to understand and be able to underwrite a deal, right? To understand if it's profitable, because if it's not profitable, then it's not a good deal. And if it's not a good deal, you're not going to make any money, right? So, and the other piece is experience. Experience does matter, but if you don't have experience, there is a path forward. And the only way to kind of get to the experience level is you got to start somewhere. So we do can help you there. And the other piece is credit. So there is minimum requirements here when it comes to certain credit criterias. And then we also have liquidity, just knowing that you have enough to be able to make a down payment and also be able to have the component to start work too. So that's there. So and when we talk about fix and flip, one of the good things we do, and we're pretty at standard market, right? A lot of lenders do 90% purchase and rehab, which we call LTC. So again, it's purchase and also the rehab component. So we go up to max 90%. We want to fund 100% of your rehab. Again, a key draw that we have here from no other lenders again. And once we kind of get to a certain level, we could do advanced draws. That is huge because a lot of times with a lot of lenders, you have to advance the work, and then based off your scope of work, they pay you off your scope of work the work that you have completed. For here, once you get to a certain level, you can close on a loan, you can actually call for a draw, and we can give you a draw pretty much at close, right? We can come to your ACH to your account within about 24, 48 hours. Another good thing that we do is our ARVs and LT ARVs, as is, we go up to 75. A lot of lenders go from 65 and 70. We go up to 75, and we do that for a certain reason so we can grow, we can bubble up our loan amounts so we can include interest payments, which is another caveat that is an advantage for us. Because a lot of, when we think about it, as you take down a project, you got to make those interest payments. So if we can able to build that into your loan, right? Now you think about if you're working a W-2, now you don't have to really worry about making that interest payment, right? We can put that into your loan, finance into your loan, which is more advantageous for you. Your new investor, that's okay. Like we can get the deal done. It may not look as the same structure again as in the leverage as an experienced investor, but we can get it done. And the good thing for us, our FICO scores is 600, right? So, that's a pretty good talking point as well. For our new construction, which is a very
Hi, Brother
advantageous.
Smith, how are you?
Uh, Another good advantage for us for new construction is we go up to 90 LTC. Industry standards, really what you see is 85. So that gives us the ability so you don't have to come that much more to the table for a down payment, which is more advantageous for us. Again, we're going to fund 100% of that of the construction piece. At ARVs is going to be up 75, as is value 75 as well. Again, we're able to bake those payments into the loan. And so that's just a really good talking point as I'm discussing. That's really, again, advantageous for those in new construction. We typically default our terms on new construction from 18 to 24 months. And the reason why, obviously, as we see that, the market is what it is. So sometimes if it's permits and there's a delay, a lot of times when some of these builders may come up on full term at 12 months, we want to be able to get that flexibility so that way we can be able to go up to 18 to 24 months. So we typically default to that. And then as we include those payments, it's no prepayment penalties on that. So which is really good for us. And again, for new construction, it's a little bit different from fix and flip. Typically, you got to have some experience. So we're looking at typically like 5 deals. And these can be from a variety of just real estate owned. It could be, you've done some fix and flips, but we at least want to see one ground up new construction. We at least want to see that. And capital markets really dictate that. Our loan amounts, the minimum is 75,000. And then we go up to a max 4 million on loan amount. So we can do some of the single family, the big houses that where Daniel's doing up in Dallas, the big $1 million homes, we can do those. Bridge loans. So bridge loans are very big too as well.
Before you move on, Jerome, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Before you move
Yeah.
on, I just had a couple sidebar questions and I want some clarity for maybe some of our newer investors. So can you break down some of the acronyms like ARV, LTC,
Yeah.
just for those that may not be familiar?
Yeah, so LTC is just loan to cost. So basically, that's your purchase plus your rehab. So that's the cost of your loan. And when we look at ARV, that's after repair value. And so a lot of times we look at after repair value. Again, once it's finished, that's what we generally want to get that value, which is after repair value. Then we also do loan to as is value too. So that's another component when we look at maybe if it's a lot, if it's new construction, what's the as is value of that? or if even if it's a flip, it's an actual house there, what is the as is value? So we'll lend up to that particular amount based off of off of that. That makes sense. Thank you. All right. So we also do bridge loans. And again, this is something that, again, think about bridge. It's just what it is, kind of bridge the gaps. And one of the things we do, which is good here is, and again, as I mentioned, you have loans sometimes that are just mature, it's coming up to maturity. And, instead of, if you come maturity of some of these loans, a lot of times there's a penalty, a default penalty. And so a lot of times you may have investors, again, they may just say, hey, listen, instead of me paying this default interest, it doubles. I might as well just go ahead and bridge this loan to a new loan because I'm maturing. And now, I can get into a new loan. So we do a lot of these bridge loans. And again, it helps, again, different ways, whether it's purchase, delayed purchase, if it's a rating term. I have a scenario too, just kind of just as an example. I have a builder here in the Georgia area, probably got 10 homes built. But again, the market is really soft, right? The market is what it is with the rates. So he's coming up on maturity. And so he just wants to bridge that loan to another loan, which is a rate and term because the house is already finished. And he's like, Jerome, I may need just another 3 or 4 months to sell these, right? We're kind of going into the spring season, but we'll give a 12-month term, right, on the bridge. And again, what we can do, because it's value in there, because again, he's created value and after repair value, we still have room that we can bridge this loan. And now we can also even continue to bake the interest payments in the loan. So again, it's the bridge loan, just as what it says. We want to bridge this particular asset to another loan. So that's what we do. And again, we could do these loans up to 4 million and no experience. So another good reason too, what we find here, especially like here in Atlanta, you may have a builder who may have a lot and he just wants to get on under contract and he may just say, listen, I want to get on the contract, get to my permitting process. It may take 3 or 4 months, do a bridge loan, and then after the bridge loan, what I could do is I can finance him into a construction loan. So that's kind of a synopsis of a bridge loan and what we can do as well. Any questions there? All right, okay. We also do DSCR, so debt service. I spelled it wrong. I put debt.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Just mainly for the members, because the purpose of this group is to create the opportunity, for people who want to get into real estate investing and never really had the opportunity or really have the experience, and just creating a professional environment of people that can do deals. You mentioned a couple of the criteria, especially like on the new construction. How does it work? And this is mainly me asking a question for, the members that want to get involved. With them not having the experience, will your company consider, the experience if they was to partner up with like a builder like myself on a joint venture, and this is their first time on actually doing a deal? Will that experience, carry over, into the deal to kind of help piggyback to bring their credibility up?
Hey,
So
Daniel,
they could eventually do that on their own?
if you're on the deal, we're gonna give you all the money. And that's just the reality, right? Because it's just a risk factor there. So as long as we can see that, hey, you have someone who is experienced, they have a track record that ties and they could tie it back to previous projects, maybe it's a HUD and so forth. We want that experience guarantor on there because we want to know that it's going to be being able to execute. And that's what capital markets dictate. So as long as you have someone who's on the loan, we're good. I mean, we will give you the same loan as Daniel as you're on there, right? So as long as you're on there, we will give you premium leverage because you have an experienced borrower on there for sure.
Gotcha.
But you're saying Dan has to be on the loan with them, like it's got to be a joint venture on paper.
Yeah, so generally, we would have let's say hypothetically speaking, Daniel, he would be on as a guarantor, right? We would typically want to see him at least 20% on 20% on the operating agreement. So that at least we know that he has some type of skin in the game, right? It ties back to him. So we know that since he knows he's going to sign on as a guarantor, we know that he is going to get it done, right? He's not going to walk away from the deal. So as long as we see that, we'll write the loan and get premium leverage.
And then once the deal is done and everything is divvied up, so to speak, let's say some of the newbies, we would have then that experience and credibility on our own to venture off to do something by ourselves without Daniel, let's say for the second deal.
Independently.
Yeah. So the way, and again, in a way, it's interesting. It's a good question. Good question. So that experience, again, counts for one on new construction. And again, there's just a kind of how our guidelines read. For new construction, we want to be able to see, let's say if you did one with us, once you get to three, right? Because and I'll kind of show you how the experience level on the next couple slides, how it shows on the experience. If you have none, and say Daniel was on there, but once we get to three, you're automatically at gold. So it's gold and platinum. There's only two tiers that it is for new construction. Now, if case in being, if you did a new construction with Daniel and you have that one, now you could still do the other loans, whether that's fix and flip loan and so forth. We could still do that all day. But the way our guidelines read, we would have to see at least three projects. And then if you do three projects with us, you would get to go. But generally, if our new construction, since it's kind of geared more to an experience, we'll say borrower, we typically would look for five. And again, that can be at least one new construction. You got to have at least, you can see it could be three fix and flips. And if you have one rental that you own, we can count that too as that five. But if you do consecutive three, then you won't have to have Daniel as a signer. Any other questions there? Hope I was clear there. I don't want to be ambiguous to you.
No, that was good. That was a good question, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have another question. Do the origination fees vary?
Yes, they do vary. Yeah,
I mean, I'm sorry, I should be more clear. On experience at each type of loan?
they do vary. Yep. So, and again, if you are, silver, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, it varies based off the sliding scale. And I don't have that on here, but I can actually provide that to you because I know you're in the lending business too as well. All right, so I'll move on. So DSCR. So again, even though I see a typo, it's debt service covers loan. So, for here, basically, with a debt service loan, it really wants to ensure that you have enough income to offset the debt service. So there's an algorithm behind it. It's not saying it's kind of hard to explain, but I have a tool that kind of works through it. But that's the reality. We won't have enough income that will be able to serve the debt service. So, in generally speaking, if you're at 1.25 of the debt service, that means you are within a profitable range. And so we can go as low as 0.75. So if you're low at 0.75, it really means you're not really making money. We can do that deal. Typically, you'll find people who do that. They may have a portfolio deal and just say they have 10 homes or rental homes, but they may have one that's just not profitable. So, they can just write that off. But we can go as low as 0.75. But the idea, we want to be above that 1.225 on that ratio. But on that, we can go up to 80% purchase, and that'll be a rate and term. We fund up everything from 1 to 4 units on single family residences, townhomes and condos. As mentioned, we go as low as a 0.75 DSCR coverage. We do loan sizes minimum of 75,000. We'll go up to 2 million. No seasoning for a rate and term. However, if you do purchase something and it'll say, hey, you did a value add after 3 months, we can reimburse you what you have completed. So we have just different ways how we can do that. And for our DSCR, we have no reserves in it. And that's the different ways how we can work that out too as well. Vacant properties are okay. And if it is vacant, what we typically do is we do a 1007, which gives a market rent. And that way we can be able to factor it in order to see if we can make that debt ratio work for the loan amounts. Payments included, again, no asset requirement. So this is another key thing because it's mentioning with no reserves, we are able to kind of bake in payments in the loan. So typically DSCR, typically you'll want to see about 6 months of reserve once you do close on the loan, but we able to bake in those payments, which is another good thing that we do here, another positive. We do finance long and short-term rentals, which is another good thing that we do. New investors, okay, we can do it. You don't necessarily need experience. We just ask that, for our guidelines, you have to have owned a property before. So if you own a home, that's okay. But if you never own a home, that kind of counts you out on the DSCR program. Our minimum for DSCR is also 680. So that's on the FICO score. So that's just something to think about as well. Any questions there?
Nope.
Yeah. And just kind of to reiterate the point again, for a rental finance program, the goal is, hey, we want to refinance your rental, right? Reduce your monthly interest rate, cash out on your rental, right? For a long term. Again, we do 30 years. We could do a interest only for a certain amount of time, and then it amortize again to a 30-year. And we also can do purchase and rental. So, we can definitely dance there if you're looking for a DSCR loan. I kind of want to just walk you through again, just from experience. I know that kind of question came up, and again, I want an advantage that we have is again our LTVs, what is quite different. We are kind of expand more different than other lenders. I start off with bronze, so from a 0 to 1 experience, and let's say if it's a fix and flip. Generally, again, we talked about what your down payment is. So typically a down payment is 20%. So we look at is 80% loan to as is value. So, you'll bring in typically 20% of the purchase and the rehab. The other thing is that as we look at our max loan amount, which is typically 75%. That's our maximum loan amount. So what happens is that the loan amount that we get, we can because we can expand on it, we can bake those loans in, which is good. And so our minimum also is FICO is 620 on fix and flips. Again, asset verification for payments. The one thing we will do is that if you are bronze and silver, is that we want to be able to see that you do have the assets. Again, and it doesn't qualify for the advanced draws as the gold and platinum does. So the idea is to get you to the gold. So again, to be creative, if you know of an investor who does have the experience, again, have them do a joint venture with you, so that way you can get the maximum leverage. If you think about the silver, there is 2 to 4 exits. So again, it's not just it's completed projects. So we want to see at least 2 to 4. Again, we go to 85 on the loan to as is value or the purchase and rehab. And then again, our max is 75 on the ARV. If you look at the gold, we want to see at least 5 to 9 exits. Again, we go up to 90%, and that's pretty standard with market or with industry standards as well. What we can do on the loan to cost. And again, we talked about the advantage of being at the goal. We could do a draw at closing. And so if you're coming in at 10% at the closing table, we're generally not going to give you more than 10% because then we would be underwater. So it will be less than the 10% that you would bring to the table. But it's still advantageous because again, it allows you to be able to get your project started. And again, a minimum is 620. And with the gold, we're able to bake in those loans. Again, we don't have to see the asset verification, which is another good advantage because a lot of times you think about most lenders, they want to be able to see that you have it in your account, but also they want to see you advance that work. But now, since our loan amounts are larger, we can bake that into the loan. Our platinum, The only difference between platinum and gold, again, is the origination and also the rate. So our floor again is 10%. So generally the platinum and gold is kind of relatively the same from a leverage standpoint, but it's just the rate and points are different. Any questions there? All right. So I just kind of wanted to just give you just an example. And again, I just wanted to revert to, and this is kind of a gold standard. So, you know, just is just a random address here. But if you look at here, purchase 260, and then, you know, if you purchase for 260 as its value is at 260, let's just say the rehab is for 45,000, and let's say that the after repair ARV is 435. Again, I can't really, you know, the tool is what it is. So as I kind of put those numbers in, kind of gives you what the what we're putting in on the loan to as is value. So again, we're at 90, and then the loan to ARV here, it breaks out to 72%. And then our LTC is 88.939%. And it differs, right? Because the reason why it differs because when I'm kind of going through the tool, what my goal is, again, I want to put in 12 payments in this loan. And again, no one wants to make payments, right? So if I can bake this into your loan, you don't have to worry about the payments. That's what makes it advantageous. That's what makes it as an advantage for us here at Templeview. So with this, with a gold, I can give you an advanced draw. Again, I'm baking in 12 months of interest. There's no prepayment penalty. So let's just say 12-month term. I'm done in 6 months. I put on the market, done in 6 months. We're not going to penalize you for the other 6 of this $34,000 that is sitting in a payment escrow, right? It's going to chop it off in half. So we're not going, there's no prepayment penalty when it comes to that. But again, one of the advantages, we can bake this into your loan. Oops, I'm sorry. And then again, no asset requirement because we're able to bake this into your loan. So didn't want to overcomplicate it.
So Jerome, when you say bake it into your loan, you mean part of your down payment, you're just collecting that up front and holding it in escrow?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So so typically, again, we're just going to bake it into the loan, you know, and that's why we can bubble up that loan amount so that way you don't really have to worry about that. So it's really good. It's really a lot of investors, a lot of flippers, they love this because again, nobody wants to make that payment, right? Because again, as you scale out your business, say if you're doing 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, you don't have to worry about a payment, right? So very good. Again, why do business with Templeview? Again, we have higher loan to values. We do larger rehab budgets just because of that. We think about our fix and flip and ground up construction. We go up to 90%. That's huge. And that's on acquisition and purchase. And again, we're going to fund 100% of your rehab. Again, we're able to advance draws only on fix and flip, not new construction. And then we can also finance payments up to the 75% loan to ARV. And we do easy underwriting. So that's kind of just a snapshot of what we do. You know, I can always, you know, get deep down into the numbers, especially on a one-on-one, to really understand a deal. But you know, that's kind of a snapshot of what we do for Templeview Capital. So definitely appreciate, you know, you spending that time, and I'm just open up to any questions.
Yeah, good question here. Thanks for the presentation. Quick question for the draws. Are they prorated based on the amount that is drawn on, or is it based on the full loan amount?
It's drawn it's drawn on the full loan amount. So yeah, if you're doing a draw, and again, we just try to keep it simple. It's an easy 275. But that draw is definitely it's on a loan amount. That's correct.
Okay, and how fast do you close?
We're about 2.5 weeks. If we get all docs in, again, I always revert to. Here's the reason why I revert to, I would say 3, is because a lot of times we can get everything in, but then the title is not there. So if we have everything, all the paperwork that we need, all the documents, title's good, we're good for about 2.5 weeks. But I generally revert to 3 because it's always title or whatever it may be. That's just kind of how it's the functionality, how it works.
Shit, thanks.
Thank you so much, Jerome, for the presentation. Lots of great information. Please make sure that you put your information in the chat so that our members can get in contact with you directly if they have any additional questions. Also, guys, if you have questions now, it'd be a great time to unmute, or you can place them in the chat and I can ask them for you. But it was really great to know. I definitely think that there is some terminology that we can go over for our newer investors to become more familiar with the structure. But Jerome, you did a great job in providing information, and I think that one-on-one conversation would be beneficial to those who are very interested in
Yes,
learning.
and again, I'd be happy to. If you just want to give me a call, you just say, hey, Jerome, I'm looking at this deal, help me to kind of walk me through the numbers. I'd be happy to break it down for you just so you can see what it is and just get granular so you can really understand the numbers. So I'd be happy to answer those questions if you ever just want to give me a call.
Thank you. And as a realtor, I would say that your lender relationship is very similar as to your bank relationship. It's very important. It's essential to learn about the products that are offered. Even with your bank, I would suggest that too. When you're opening up a line of business or a business account, find yourself a representative in your bank to build a relationship. It kind of goes off of our infamous book that I still always have, Who Not How, right? Finding our who's to help you make these deal structures come to fruition, your real estate goals come to fruition. It's not about how you do it, it's who can help you do it. So keep that in mind. Jerome is a great asset. We have other lenders that have been on as well that are a great asset, a tool in your tool belt in your real estate venture. All right, so the floors are still open. If you guys have any other additional questions, we can take them now. And thanks again, Jerome. That was a great presentation. I learned some things as well. I took notes as always. Right. All right, so we can move along. There are some people that just joined us. If we would like to do some additional introductions. Daniel, is there any information that you would like to share with the group? I will say this, we do have a lot of sidebar conversations, or we're sharing information on Mighty Networks. I'm going to put some information in the chat about Mighty. Tonight, I mentioned about some land opportunities in Citrus Springs. So if you join us on Mighty, I will put a link. There's a tour, Citrus Springs, Florida. It's an up and coming area in Florida, as well as the land that's available. The price range for these properties are as low as 10,000. They're between 10 and 15,000. So as I mentioned, that area is growing. You can definitely put any properties that you find as well, or any investment deals that you would like to have further discussions with in Mighty Networks as well. So I will share that information. Daniel, you got anything to share? I'll share that information in chat.
Vondras had a question in the chat. Vondras, she asked, does that apply to land as well?
Oh, Jerome, well, these product types.
Yeah, the DSCR loans, I guess. I don't know.
I'm sorry, no, DSCR is for rental. It's not for any land. It's only for income generating properties.
Okay.
So as far as all of your new construction loans, you want the land to be already approved and developed prior to lending, or will your products work on land to develop then into the new construction, or would you rather the land to be already purchased and owned and approved to start the new construction if we already own the property outright?
Ideally, we like it if you have it already baked and permits ready to go. Typically, a lot of builders, they kind of just purchase the land, and then as they get the permits ready to go, it's just easy, and we can also offer the top tier leverage if it's already have the if it's already ready to go. What we still can do on the acquisition on the land. Again, it's just we can offer just premium leverage when it's already ready to go with permits.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, so you will lend on land or you won't?
We will land on land if it has a vertical component to it. So if you have you have land and let's just say you want to do a build, we will lend if it has a vertical component to it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
What does that mean, a vertical component to it?
Just means that you have plans to build on it, right? We just don't want to just, just buy land and just sit on it. We want to be able to have an understanding that you're going to build on it and put a house on it. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. I mean, no lender really just wants to own what we call dirt, right? Because the asset is when you build, and the asset, the value to it is when you build on it. So as long as we kind of know there's again, as we say, vertical component, you're going structurally up. We can do that.
Got it.
All right, any additional questions? These are some great questions that are coming about, especially about land. Anyone else have any additional questions for Jerome?
Yeah, I have one last question, Jerome. For the new construction or any project for that matter, do you do conversion from when construction is completed, you convert to a conventional mortgage?
Absolutely. Oh, we don't do conventional. No, I'm sorry. No, we're not a conventional lender. But I mean, if
Not 30, when I mean convention, I mean 30-year mortgage, 25-year mortgage.
oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. We do that all day. Yep. Yep.
Thank you.
Perfect. Well, Jerome, definitely make sure you, I'm not quite sure if you dropped your information in the chat, but it's definitely seemed like it's needed and you may have some sidebar conversations. So make sure that you do that. And then I will also share his information in Mighty Networks as well. Okay, so we can kind of move along in the conversation. Does anyone have any properties of interest that they would like to share or any type of investment questions? No, everyone's kind of quiet on me.
No, I do have a question.
Okay, great.
With all these great minds here, I'm a first-time home builder, and I think I talked to Daniel a little bit about this. And I want to pull equity out of my home, but I'm not sure like the best move. Like I have a basement that's unfinished. Or would you invest in something that can generate some income and then use that to finish up the basement? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out the best move for me.
I see. How long have you been in your home?
Since 2019.
Okay. Are you comfortable with, well, or have you heard of the term house hacking?
House
Hacking, like sharing your home with a leaser or someone to rent from a space, as in your basement. Don't necessarily have to go, you don't have to go outside of your present resources. So house hacking is, the strategy would be finish your basement and then rent out your space. That's one strategy.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I actually was going to do a rent towards because I'm so close to the airport, a crash, to make it into a crash pad.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. What city are you in again?
Atlanta. I'm in Camp Creek.
Okay, Camp Creek area. Oh yeah, that's definitely a great space for that. Okay. Any other suggestions from anyone else, since he's saying, and you said you have equity in your home, so doing like a HELOC, pulling out a line of equity to do the renovations?
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds like a strategy to me. I feel like you might already know what to do. So,
but I also do want to get into like another property as well. Like, so like I'm listening to you guys and
Seeing which way the best.
fit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I always suggest a pros and cons list to start there, thinking about what are your long-term goals? Do you have the time to manage a second property? Those type of questions and being realistic with those. And we can always have a sidebar. I'll give you a call.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Um, Daniel, do you have any suggestions, ideas, comments?
Well, not necessarily comments. We can definitely, have a side conversation because, he talked about a couple of things, which is on a personal side. Um, what I see that, basically what our platform is to see how, what his circumstance is, so where we can figure out how we can get him involved into one of these investment properties, and then the profits from that, then you can tend to invest back into your basement. And if you are able to pull, home equity line to pull something out to utilize that to invest. So therefore you can pay that back versus pull it out and put it into the basement and then waiting on the rentals, to pay it back. So, my suggestion would be able to talk just to see like what position you are in credit wise or finance wise, and, see if we can team you up with a partner, within our organization to be able to do a deal that can, cover those strategies that you're looking for. And that's definitely something that we can talk about as well.
All right. So I guess I can also take a moment just to kind of go over our membership. It is important. That's a central goal of ours is to build membership and to create joint venture opportunities. And so as you can see through our calls that there's definitely a community that we are building, that we're wanting to share information, give you all resources and tools that can help you in your investment journey. Also, we've spoken sidebar about the biweekly accountability calls, and we've mentioned before about our referral program, and we stand firm by that if you join as a member, pay your fees, and then bring someone on to FTB, they fill out their application, get approved, pay their fees. We do have a $1,000 referral program. This is also a way to generate capital for your basement, George, by referring people. This is an opportunity for everyone. And as we continue to build on our presentations and have our guest here, we are wanting you all to tell a friend, bring a coworker, people that you meet in the streets, anyone that you think that has an interest in real estate. This is a successful wealth building tool to invite them on the call so they can learn more about us and we can continue to grow our community.
And then as far as members go, out being that, Jasmine mentioned, the referral program, we can kind of, tie into a little bit, and then, we get with the members and kind of share with you guys. We actually offering a little bit more extensive. I'm working in the background on a system within FTB, because, being that we are coming together, power partnership, and I know we are in multiple states, and I know each and last one of us have resources and things of that nature. So what we're doing is we're looking at, providing the construction management services to you guys on your particular projects, as well as an incentive program for members to be able to generate revenue that you guys can use to raise capital to invest into projects without, touching your livelihood. It's a slow but progression, way of generating other income. So the first incentive that we put in place is for that $1,500, that initial payment that you pay. Whoever referred you, we pay it forward. So we take that $1,000 and we just, keep getting that referral, because our ultimate goal is to build a global business network. We want every business of all walks of life, to be within our network. So just in case if somebody needs something, they should be able to reach right within their network, and it should be someone that can service your needs or any type of referral. On the construction management component that we're going to be sharing amongst the group, in every construction project, from roofing, remodeling, kitchens and bath remodeling and stuff like that, what we're going to do is we're going to train you guys how to be a representation of yourself, almost like if you was a real estate agent, getting paid commission on selling a home. Now, if you refer someone, you not only get $1,000 commission, but if you know anybody that needs any remodeling services, if they want to get a kitchen or a roof, normally anywhere between 20 and 25%, that's normally the markup in profit on these construction jobs. What we're going to do at FTB as a construction management that we're going to start providing to investors as well as the service to the outside world, we're going to give you guys 10% of that profits for any referrals that you guys refer back into the organization. So now when you go out in representation of FTB, you can also let them know that, you know, you are part of an organization that do home remodeling, renovations. And if somebody decides that they would like to get something done, of course, I don't expect you guys to know and understand estimating and stuff like that. But once you able to connect, you know, the client with myself and with members, I'm going to get with you guys and we're going to streamline a simple system that, you know, you guys will filter your customer. I'll take care of the construction component on the back end as far as dealing with the local contractors that's in your area and your region to basically, so you guys have a go-to team, you know, that will basically represent, you know, yourself. But FTB is now offering two incentives, a 10% profit off of every remodeling project refer, as well as the $1,000 referral, you know, to help us grow, you know, this organization nationwide. And, you know, and just to kind of give you guys an example, a lot of these roofing jobs, you know, especially from the contractor standpoint, some of these roofing projects, you know, might yield anywhere between $8,000 to $10,000 with a day or 2 days worth of work. You know, half of that will become you guys. So let's just hypothetically say we do a roof. This roof was 30 squares and it yield $10,000 in profit. You guys would take $5,000 because that was a client that you actually referred, you know, to be able to get the services done. Right now, the goal is to bring in other contractors into the organization because I can only do but so much. So as of it right now, Dawkins Development Group is the go-to GC for FTB, you know, to filter your projects as well as anything. But as we grow, you know, we're going to be looking for other contractors that can get within our network so we can kind of sub some of that work out to, you know, share the love. If you guys know contractors that's within y'all networks and y'all want to, you know, introduce them, we vet them, we make sure that they qualify, then they can become a preferred contractor, you know, for our network. And then we can utilize them as well, because like I said, I'm not expecting to do all of this work, but right now we're a small group. So what's going to happen is if you guys know of anyone that needs any type of services, especially in Atlanta and Texas, and then for the other areas that you guys are in that I'm currently not in, if there's a project that consists of architectural and consists of my presence, I will fly there because some deals you have to be at the table. But a lot of these roofing jobs, kitchen remodeling jobs and stuff like that, there's local professionals that's right within your region that qualify to look at these projects. And as long as you guys know that y'all will be the representation in between your client and the contractor, then that's always going to build the comfortability that the client know that they're dealing with someone. So as members, I'm going to get with you guys and really streamline exactly like what does that look like. So then when you guys get business cards and stuff like that, you'll have a tracking number on it. And then I'll also show you guys how to do individual marketing for yourselves so you can make your own personal phones ring, because this is going to be a way for you guys to now be an agent and representative for FTB, and you can generate and utilize that income. And then everything that you make from the referrals on the contracting side of servicing, y'all can invest that back into your own project. So as it been right now, even though I haven't sent you guys anything in writing, you can still keep it in mind. If you know anybody that needs any type of remodeling, small as handyman services, just let me know personally, and then I will make it, you know, important to filter it and make sure that we get you involved so you can gain commission off of the sale. So that's going to be another benefit that we're going to be offering, you know, FTB members.
I think that's a great segue into the book club. So I did mention in the email that we'll be launching a new book, and the book that we'll be reading is we do one motivational and then one real estate. So it's estimating rehab cost. So this may be a great book for you to join in, just so that you can get familiar with terminology. Not that you would become an expert and you still have, Daniel and other professionals to lean on, but just so that you can be comfortable with the process and the verbiage that's being used around you. Please join me. So I'll be sending out an email. We have been doing book club on Mondays from 6 to 6:30. So it is Bigger Pockets, Estimating Rehab Cost. So as I said, it would just be great in getting you comfortable with some of the terms that are used in the industry.
Good.
Yeah.
It's by Bigger Pockets.
Yes, which is actually a great,
Great,
mean,
a
don't-
podcast. Yeah.
I know I don't want to promote others, but they are a great podcast.
Yeah, they're good.
They are good. So and then it's a partnering, it's a sister book. The sister book is the book on flipping houses.
Yes.
So we discussed that. I think Tariq and I kind of had a sidebar conversation. He's interested in flipping. So this is just a great book. As I said, as you read books, it kind of expands your vocab, expands your knowledge, and makes you more comfortable with the subject matter. So hope you guys will join me as we venture onto a new book. Although I still love Who Not How. Still one of my favorites. Yes.
Foundation of this club.
It truly is.
Flip this bricks.
It is very much so. Okay, we can definitely open up the floor for additional introductions. If there's anyone that would like to share some news with us, if you brought any guests on that you would like to introduce, this would be a great time to do it. So we're going to open up the floor.
I think Joseph, somebody came in earlier and mentioned your name. I don't know if he's still on, but he mentioned that you sent a referral in.
Okay, yes, I don't know who that was. Here at the airport, I'm just.
It was
listening.
Jordan. He's still on.
Who is it?
Jordan.
Oh yeah, okay, yes, that's the fam. Yes. But I'm just listening. That was a hell of a presentation. I learned a lot, and I want to learn more. So I'm here, and I love you guys. That's all I can say.
Very good. Thank you for the continuous referrals, Joseph. We appreciate them.
If I can just, ask of Tariq, if he can introduce himself. He's a member of the organization. I know it's camera off, so I'm not sure if he's.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if he's available. He's with family tonight.
Okay,
He
got it.
just tuning in, but he is with family.
Okay.
Oh, but there he is.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, because what I wanted to mention, Tariq, especially for members, considering that you guys know that I'm really pushing heavily, into the Dallas market, not, Xing out our Atlanta, for Atlanta people, I'm still there available. If you can start scouting some properties in Dallas, to see what you can bring back to the group, in that Dallas area, between Dallas
whole
and
area,
Fort
right?
Worth.
Yeah.
If you can start, seeing that what's available that you can bring to the table, could be definitely helpful for myself as well as, for the members that want to get involved into the Dallas market.
Yeah, I could definitely do that. I've been working that area previously between that Dallas, Fort Worth, a little bit of Houston, and I was dabbing into St. Pete down near Jasmine as well. But yeah, that area is definitely on the boom. So yeah, I'll definitely look into that for you.
And just for the group, so everybody that don't know, Tariq is a nationwide real estate wholesaler. So he finds properties, off market and on market and stuff like that. So if you guys are looking for, anything, or if you find something, you can send it to him directly.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you for coming on, Tariq. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, it was a great presentation this evening. I think it was a great call. As always, I have enjoyed you guys' company. I'm not quite sure before signing off if there are any other topics that we should cover, conversations to be had, information to be shared.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm about to move forward a lot of artists, inspirational artists, and they are very, very creative. And I see a vision of giving them the vision to flip these books to kind of help add to the marketing
help make it fun and draw more people in. Are you guys interested in anything like that?
Collaborations with artists?
Well, basically, like they would create a song based on the vision of Flip These Bricks to kind of help move forward the marketing and the message and everything that we're doing. They would create it from scratch based on the vision of Flip These Bricks. So I like to test my guys, and just wondering if you guys want to take the test too and see what we can come up with to kind of help market it some more and bring even more people in.
Yeah, I love that idea. Definitely. We can try to schedule a sidebar conversation, for sure. Yeah.
Yes, and so what I'm gonna do then, I'm gonna start moving that forward already, giving them an idea of where we're going and what we're doing, and then I'll just make a connection to you and go from there.
Yeah, sounds good. And I'm definitely gonna follow up with the contacts that you sent me earlier today. I'll follow up.
He's ready. Yeah, yes, and he's been in real estate forever, and he's anyway. Yeah, there's some more good assets for the team. Yes, and thank you.
Appreciate it.
And if there's anybody that's on the call that's currently not members that's thinking about joining and still need a little bit more clarification, you can contact myself or Jasmine, and we can, elaborate a little bit more. If you got a market that you want to actually open up and you're not sure, what's the next steps to open up in that market, we can definitely get with you, especially myself, to figure out what state you're in and how we can actually start, branching and piggybacking off of what we currently have to kind of help you be successful and opening up the market that you're currently in.
And I have one more thing to say, if it's okay. Thank you for that, Daniel. That's what sparked this. Me and Anthony, we're working on an event right now out in Florida. And so once we officially secure the venue and secure the value and the draw and everything from there, what I'm going to present to him is a vision that I see for Flip These Bricks as well, where we can use the event to market Flip These Bricks, and not only just market Flip These Bricks, but identify some land and some property in that area that we can all bring together to kind of, and then from there, all those communities that you're mentioning, we can do the same thing. We can set up more events in those areas and continue to market Flip These Bricks through those events. I would love to move forward with that, but me and Anthony are directly moving forward from there.
Awesome.
And Jerome, I'm gonna get with you personally, me and Jasmine. We can schedule a call. Like right now we have, like any other network, we have, random lenders that pretty much everybody almost similar have some of the same product. We don't have a direct lender that we has as our go-to lender. And I would like to see if that's something that you may be interested in, to where, we can actually, have your information, on our website with a link and conversation and be able to work things out to where our current members know that even though they may have other lenders, we have a direct lender that, that works with us directly. So, we can definitely have, because I was looking at your program. You do a lot with some don't. It's kind of like two different companies in one, because, some guys only do bridge loans. That's like a different type of, lending process. And then, you get some rehabbers who don't do the new construction, but the fact that, you guys have different products, I think that it's a great platform, for the organization. And I am willing, personally to joint venture with our team to where we can kind of, get the experience that's needed amongst the group so we can start power partnership. That's why we're here, even if it's on one deal. I actually have a deal. I'm gonna present that to the members. It's too much information that's really not all together to present tonight. But I do have a deal that's on the table for the group. It's a great rehab in Atlanta. I got first opportunities to kind of take over the deal. And that's something, Jerome, that I can run by you to see what those numbers look like. And I can present that back to the group, and that could be an opportunity for a joint venture for the team. But it's a rehab that basically fell by the wayside, in Atlanta, and they're willing to give me the project for the price that the other lender basically funded. They're not in default with the other lender. They've been, basically carrying their payments, so they're in good terms with the extensions and everything. I just don't want to go through that particular lender. I want to kind of refinance them out. So Jerome, I'll talk to you on the sidebar about that so we can kind of see what would be the best way to kind of tackle that particular deal. But that's definitely something we can do as a group for some skin in the game for some of our members. And that's a real deal that can be done immediately.
Just let me know. Be happy to look at it, man.
Yeah, I will chat with you sometime tomorrow. We can get on it and I'll let you share the information with
All right. Well, we are now at 20 past the hour. Anyone else have any contributions before we end our wonderful call for the week? As always, it's been great, knowledgeable, full of information, great people. Anyone else? No?
Well, I could just encourage everybody to start looking into the Dallas market. I'm in the process of setting up an office there, so we're going to be full-fledged operating out of Texas. Right now, Dallas is on a rise. You have Disney World is being built in Frisco, which is about 25 minutes outside of Dallas. You have the new Vegas Strip is coming into Arlington, which is also about 25 minutes west of Dallas. And then they're building the Lightning speed train coming out of Houston, into Dallas. So I really see Dallas taking a lead when it comes to the Texas market over this next 2 to 3 years. So if you guys are interested in the Dallas market, it's what Atlanta used to be when Atlanta really, really, started its original boom. The only difference is price points to buy in is a lot lower than what Atlanta is to get the same profit margins, out of it in the Dallas market.
So when you say looking the Dallas market, you're saying you said Fresco and Arlington?
That whole Dallas metroplex is booming. When you get outside of North Dallas, the property values are bigger, the cost is higher. Right now, South Dallas is going through a regentification process. Particularly Oak Cliff. If you look into Oak Cliff, that's where you want to be. The homes in Oak Cliff, roughly about 21 to 2,500 square feet, is selling between 500 and almost, some of them depend upon whether or not they 3 stories and rooftop decks and stuff like that. And I'll share some of this stuff with you, Janet, personally, so you can see it. But Oak Cliff is on the rise. That was like one of the worst parts of Dallas you was told not to go to, but that's one of the strongest parts of South Dallas as far as a return on your investment. And that's ideally the area that I was looking into before, because the property that me, Mark, and Lene is doing, it's in South Dallas as well, but it's on the opposite side. And it's almost going to yield $100,000 less than the Oak Cliff side for the same product. So if y'all look into Oak Cliff, especially Al Tariq, if you look into, anything in Oak Cliff, if you can negotiate anything, whether it's a tear down, empty lots, we want everything in that area.
I got you, bro.
Okay. Oak Cliff.
That's strong. I want everything in that area. That's
We
strong.
want everything. Like, we a group. There's no reason why we shouldn't have our hands involved, right? It's too many of us in one place.
Well, let's cool. Let's claim it then. It'll be our spot.
This ain't Texas. I'm sorry. That was
So I sent Daniel, I wasn't going to say anything because I got a little sidetracked, but I'm glad I did the exercise because I learned a lot and I want to stay focused. So you're saying Dallas, and I want to still stay focused on Bridgeport. So I took a detour and I wound up in Hartford. Don't ask me why. But I sent you this property, 353 Weathersfield Avenue in Hartford, Connecticut, and it was $249,900. I couldn't figure out how to place it on Mighty Networks, but I wrote it on my Excel sheet, Jasmine. So I have it right here on my Excel sheet. And it basically is a multifamily building. Is 4,792 square feet. It was on the market for 24,999. And I was just doing more research on the zip code because you were talking to me in our one-to-ones about the zip code and get the better property, I guess, in the get the worst property in the better zip code. And so this zip code is a little questionable, and it was on the market for quite some time. And what I read when I started doing my research was that it was a blighted lien. And today at 12 noon, they were taking offers. They were going to decrease the offer less than $6,000 because the city plans to, because they said they're going to decrease it $6,000 because the city, something about the city having plans for it, but it's gutted and framing is done. So when you look at it online on realtor.com, it's boarded up. So I guess it needs quite a bit of work, even though it's like 249,900. And what else did I find? So it was like a nice little research project. The most it sold for was asking for was 350,000. Now they dropped the price to 249,900. And it's on the south end of Hartford, which is not the greatest area, but it has 24 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, and I didn't understand what a blighted lien was.
Yeah, that's a new term to me as well. I'm like, I'm gonna have to do my research.
What was the reason for the drop? Was it sitting?
I think so. I think so. I don't think they got any because it was on at 350. It was October 23rd, 2023, and then it dropped. So today, March 14, 2024, now it's 249,009. So probably nobody was buying it at all, looking at it at all.
So wonderful Google.
Yes, don't bother with it because I think whoever the highest bidder was for this property, they had up until 12 o'clock today to put in their bids.
Yeah, I want to give the definition of blighted lien is a property, physical space or structure that is no longer an acceptable or beneficial condition to its community. So it's lost its value as a social good or economic commodity, or its functional status as a livable space. So probably just meaning what you were referring to about it being boarded up.
It needs to be torn down and just a rebuild, and you're just buying basically the land.
Correct.
2499.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm so proud of you for digging and researching and learning more terminology and being comfortable with sharing. It's growth.
Yes. And one more before we hang up, 31 Tower Avenue. That was in Bloomfield, Connecticut. I think I sent that to you, Daniel, as well. That was 69,900. So now it's set. When I did further digging, they said it's off the market. So basically, it was 7 days on the market. It's 3.6 acres, but it has a well and a septic tank, and it was demolished in 2012. And that's a piece of land. So my question with land is, you have to go see the records to see if it's buildable. How do you know the land is not toxic? Can you build on it? Is there infrastructure for plumbing and so forth? Is there ways to find that out?
Yeah, definitely. Ideally, you want to always try to see if they got a site plan or just a survey period. That'll be the first step. That's the simplest step, and that's going to let you know if there's any easements or wetland or anything that's actually running through that particular property.
Okay.
Ideally, if you don't have any easements and stuff like that, you can almost build on anything. Just certain municipalities, they might have, different zoning to where, and depending upon what that zoning is, they might have a lot requirement minimum. They might say, if it's a rural area, they may tell you, you know, you need 1 or 2 acre minimum. So as long as you keep that land mass, then, you know, you can build whatever within that vicinity. Some areas might tell you 1/4 acre, you know, then you know that if it's 1 acre, you could build 4 houses on it. So, you know, find out what the zoning is, but for the most part, see if if they have a survey. Most sellers up here in the north never have a survey for some reason. You know, so you can always check the county records just to see what's available. And you can kind of start from there. If it's a property you know you want, you can put it under contract with contingent upon these things being buildable to give yourself time to do some due diligence. And if you're willing to pay for a survey yourself, just to make sure there's not no easements and stuff like that, you know, physically running through the property. If you drove by the property and you see power lines and all that stuff going through it and you don't have a survey, then just assume that maybe there might be one. But usually the county, if there's an easement running through it, 9 out of 10, the county have a record, you know.
Planning department.
Yeah, the planning and zoning department
Zoning.
will definitely have it, especially if there's a recorded easement, you know, running to it. Sometimes you have easements running through properties that might not be recorded, but it might be a utility easement like the phone company and stuff like that. And that might intrude to, you know, maybe putting in a road or something, but those easements could be moved. But usually during development, that'll be part, you know, they will move those easements, but it would be at your cost to have it relocated. So, you know, it's several different ways to, you know, to kind of look at that stuff. But for the most part, if you bring it back to the table, we can all look at it and figure out, you know, what's the best solution. But for that price point and 3 acres in that area, it sounds like a pretty decent, you know, situation.
Yeah. So I would definitely go on planning and zoning or reach out so that you can find out what the use is for the land. Then you can also, just like Daniel said, you can, sometimes they'll have a land survey. But planning and zoning is where you can find that information out.
Okay. And I can find that out online, right?
Yeah, and if you can't find it online, you can definitely have a number and call them.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of your bigger cities, all of that stuff gonna be right at your fingertips.
Okay.
When you get into some of them old towns and stuff like that, they're still doing things the old fashioned way. You're gonna have to physically go down there and physically look.
Right.
You know, but for the most part, most of the cities that's closer to the cities are going to be, you know, pretty much updated for the most part. But there's still a handful, especially upstate New York and in Connecticut, when you get into, you know, that back, I want to say west side of Connecticut, you're dealing with them older municipalities. For Hartford and all of them, you know, you should be able to get right online and see all of that.
Okay, great. All right, good. It was good. I mean, you know, I got, you know, to learn some stuff. So
Yeah. And in regards to Mighty Networks, I think I'm going to set up aside like a different Zoom so that we can actually go in there and you guys can learn how to like post. You did do the right thing though, Miss Janice, by asking for an invitation into potential properties. I believe I approved it for you. So now you should be able to like do a quick post or something of that sort. So I'm going to try to schedule a Mighty Networks training so that we can all get more familiar and really utilize the platform more. But for now, even just posting on the main community page is okay.
okay.
Yeah. All right. Any other additional questions? I am tomorrow going to post the land properties or the land lots that I have in Citrus Springs. Also, I hope that you guys have been seeing the links. I've been linking the call on Mighty Networks as well. So if you want to share the calls with anyone, if you think they can benefit from the information shared, you can share the link. And then there are also, all of our calls are also on YouTube. So it's Flip These Bricks Academy. And you can find out additional information about us. You can apply at flipthesebricksacademy.com. There's a link to the application. There's a link to Mighty Networks. There's a link to this call. So please use the page as a resource. There's tons of information. And then we are on all the major social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram. So you can check us out and see some of the progress also of Daniel of DDG. some of his general contracting work, you can kind of peek at what he's doing in some of these flip projects and building projects in New York, Atlanta, and Dallas. Right?
Yeah, great.
Yes.
Okay. And to invite anybody, just tell them to go to flipthesebricksacademy.com.
And then it's at the bottom of the page, it'll say our weekly call, or it's under the event page as well. So
Got
there's
it.
a, yep. And then also if you're receiving, I don't know, Miss Janice, do you receive the weekly? I send out usually a weekly email that has links to our call, to the book club.
Yeah.
Yep. So you can forward that email as well, and they'll have the links that way.
Perfect. Okay, good.
All right.
So Oak Cliff, South Dallas, and Citrus Springs. Those are the
Citrus Springs Park.
places we should be on the radar for.
You got it.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the call as much as I did, and go out and be great. Have a great week, guys.
Righty. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night. Good night. Good
Night.
night. Thank you guys again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Blessings and love, blessings and love, blessings. and
Same
love.
to you. Thank you, Joseph. Have a great night. Tariq, our condolences to your family. Enjoy your time with them. All
Thank you.
right. Good night. You're welcome.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night, Fondres. Hi, Dr. Samuel. How are you? We didn't hear from you tonight. It's great to see your
Good
face,
night.
though.
I'm sorry. I was caught up somewhere. That's why I didn't even put my face, because I came a bit late. But I've been
No
very
problem.
impressed with everything. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. I've been seeing you on Facebook. I'm getting to know you on FB.
With my kids now, saying
That's right.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
I was just in Dallas, and Dr. Samuel's son seen me 2 days in a row at 2 different locations. The second day he came to me, he said, "You're Daniel, right? I seen you last night also."
That's great.
It's a pleasure. I'm happy you people will be in Dallas. That'll be great for us. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too. Daniel, what we discussed, you will do as you said. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. God
Good
bless
night.
you.